The screaming cut through the night like broken glass. I was 3 houses down, just pulling into my driveway after 8 months overseas, and I heard it. Raw. Terrified. The kind of scream that means someone's about to die. Hit like, subscribe for more betrayal stories, and comment your city or country. I killed the engine and stepped out slow, every instinct I'd honed as a Navy SEAL kicking in. The sound came from Emma's place. Emma Chun, the widow who lived at the end of the cul-de-sac with her 16-year-old daughter Lily. Her husband David had died 2 years ago. Heart attack, everyone said. Good guy, quiet, worked in finance. Emma kept to herself after that, just her and Lily trying to survive the grief. But tonight, something was very wrong. I moved toward her house, staying in the shadows. The front door was busted open, hanging crooked on its hinges. Through the living room window, I saw them. 4 men, all wearing dark clothes and bandanas over their faces. Gang members. I recognized the posture, the swagger, the way they moved through the house like they owned it. One of them had Emma by the hair, dragging her across the floor. She was crying, begging. Please, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have anything. Shut up, the biggest one growled. He was tall, maybe 6'3", with a spider tattoo crawling up his neck. Your husband stole from us. You think we're stupid? You think we don't know he left something behind? Lily was on the couch, frozen, her eyes wide with terror. One of the men stood over her, tapping a crowbar against his palm. Maybe the kid knows, he said. Kids always know where daddy hides his secrets. Don't touch her, Emma screamed, thrashing in the big guy's grip. He slapped her hard across the face, and she crumpled. That's when I stopped thinking and started moving. I ran back to my truck and opened the back door. Rex jumped out before I even gave the command. 80 pounds of Belgian Malinois, trained to kill on my word. He'd been with me through 3 deployments, saved my life twice in Afghanistan, and he could smell violence before it happened. Rex, quiet, I whispered. He went still, eyes locked on me, waiting. I pulled my Glock from the center console and checked the mag full. Good. We moved fast and silent toward the house. Through the window, I watched Spider Neck grab Lily by the arm and yank her up. Where is it? He shouted in her face. Where'd your daddy hide the money? I don't know. Lily sobbed. I swear I don't know. He shoved her back down and pulled a knife from his belt. Then maybe we start cutting, and you'll remember real quick. I kicked the front door in. All 4 heads snapped toward me. For a second, nobody moved. Then Spider Neck smiled, slow and mean. Well, looks like we got a hero. You got about 5 seconds to walk out of here, I said, calm, my weapon trained on his chest. After that, things get messy. One of his boys laughed. You see this fool? 1 gun, 4 of us. You can't stop all of Rex, I said. Attack. Rex exploded through the doorway like a missile. He went straight for the guy with the crowbar, hit him in the chest, and took him down hard. The man screamed, trying to push Rex off, but that dog had jaws like a steel trap. Blood sprayed across the carpet as Rex tore into his arm. The other 3 froze, eyes wide. Spider Neck's smile was gone. I said leave, I repeated, or my dog keeps working. They ran. All 3 of them bolted for the back door, tripping over each other, crashing through the kitchen. I heard the fence rattle as they climbed over it, shouting and cursing. The guy on the floor was still screaming, trying to crawl away with 1 arm hanging useless. Rex, release. Rex let go and backed up, blood on his muzzle, eyes still locked on the man. I walked over, pressed my boot into the guy's chest, and pointed my gun at his face. Who sent you? Man, I don't. I pressed harder. Who? Sent. You. Marcus, he gasped. Marcus Webb. He said Emma's husband owed him, said there's documents, something big. Said we bring him back or don't come back at all. I pulled my boot off and stepped back. Get out. If I see you again, I won't stop my dog next time. He scrambled up and ran, holding his torn arm, whimpering like a child. The house went quiet except for Emma's sobbing. I holstered my weapon and turned to her. She was curled up on the floor, shaking, her cheek already swelling where Spider Neck had hit her. Lily was still on the couch, staring at me like I was a ghost. "It's okay," I said, kneeling down next to Emma. "They're gone. You're safe." She looked up at me, tears streaming down her face. "Jake." "Oh my God, Jake." "I'm here," I said. "I'm right here." But even as I said it, I knew this wasn't over. Marcus Webb. I'd heard that name before, back when I was doing intel work overseas. Local crime boss, connections to trafficking and money laundering. If he was involved, this wasn't just some random attack. This was the beginning of something much worse. And Emma. Emma was hiding something. I could see it in her eyes, the way she couldn't quite meet my gaze. Whatever her husband had been into, she knew more than she was saying. "Who is Marcus Webb?" I asked quietly. Emma closed her eyes. When she opened them again, they were filled with a guilt so deep it made my chest ache. "He was David's partner," she whispered. "And I think my husband got him involved in something terrible." The police came and went. They took statements, took pictures of the broken door and blood on the carpet, took the whole scene in with tired eyes like they'd seen it all before. Detective Harris, a gray-haired woman with sharp features, told Emma to get a hotel for the night. "We'll patrol the area," she said. "But we can't station someone here full-time." That's when I stepped in. "They're staying with me." Emma started to protest, but I cut her off. "You don't have a choice. Those guys know where you live, and they'll be back." She nodded slowly, defeat written all over her face. Lily hadn't said a word since the attack, just sat there staring at nothing, her hands shaking in her lap. I loaded them into my truck with Rex in the back, drove them to my place 4 blocks away. My house was small, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, bachelor setup, but it was secure. Reinforced doors, alarm system, cameras on every corner. Old habits from my SEAL days. I gave them my bedroom and set up on the couch with Rex at my feet. He was still wired, ears perked, ready to move. Good dog. Always ready. Around midnight, I heard Emma crying in the other room. Soft, muffled sobs. I got up, knocked gently on the door. "Emma, you okay?" The door opened. Her face was red and swollen, mascara smeared down her cheeks. "I need to tell you something," she whispered. Something I should have said a long time ago. We sat at the kitchen table. Lily was asleep in the bedroom, exhausted from the trauma. Emma wrapped her hands around a mug of tea I'd made her, staring into it like she was trying to find answers in the steam. "David wasn't who everyone thought he was," she started. Her voice was flat, emotionless. "He didn't die of a heart attack. I mean, technically he did, but it wasn't natural. He was under so much stress, so much pressure. He was involved in things, Jake. Bad things." I stayed quiet, let her talk. Marcus Webb was his business partner. They ran an investment firm together, helped wealthy clients manage their money. But about 5 years ago, David started doing side deals, money laundering for some really dangerous people. Marcus was in on it too. They made millions, Jake. Millions. And then David got scared. He wanted out, wanted to come clean, maybe cut a deal with the feds. But Marcus said if David talked, he'd kill us. Kill me and Lily. Her voice cracked. She wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. David had a heart attack in his office 3 weeks later. The doctors said it was stress, high blood pressure, genetics. But I always wondered if Marcus did something. Poisoned him, scared him to death, I don't know. And now Marcus thinks David had evidence against him. Documents, ledgers, something that could put him away for life. He thinks I have them. Do you? I asked. She shook her head. I swear I don't. I went through everything after David died. I found some bank statements, some weird offshore accounts, but nothing concrete. Nothing that would prove anything. I burned most of it because I was terrified Marcus would come after us. I leaned back in my chair, processing. "Emma, if Marcus thinks you have those documents, he's not going to stop. He'll send more guys, and next time they won't just scare you. They'll hurt you. They'll hurt Lily." "I know," she whispered. "I know. Then we need to find out what David hid and where he hid it. Because if we don't, Marcus is going to tear your life apart looking for it." She looked at me, eyes full of pain and guilt. Why are you helping us? You just got home. You should be resting, seeing your family, living your life, not cleaning up my mess. I thought about that for a second. Truth was, I didn't have much family left. My parents passed when I was in my 20s. No siblings. No wife or kids. The Navy was my family, and now I was out, medically retired after taking shrapnel in my shoulder during a mission in Syria. I'd spent 8 months overseas on contract work, trying to feel useful again, trying to feel like I mattered. But sitting here with Emma, looking at the fear in her eyes, the weight she'd been carrying alone for 2 years, it reminded me why I joined the SEALs in the first place. To protect people who couldn't protect themselves. Because it's the right thing to do, I said. And because David was my friend. I didn't know him well, but he helped me once when I needed it. He lent me money when my truck broke down, didn't ask for anything in return. Good people don't deserve to have their families terrorized by scum like Marcus Webb. Emma reached across the table and squeezed my hand. Thank you, she said, tears spilling over again. Thank you so much. We sat there for a while in silence. Then Emma took a deep breath and said something that changed everything. There's one more thing. Lily might know something. A few months before David died, he gave her a box, told her to keep it safe, never open it, never tell anyone about it. She kept it hidden in her closet. I found it once, asked her about it, and she got so upset I never brought it up again. I thought it was just, I don't know, letters or photos or something sentimental. I sat forward. You think the documents are in that box? I don't know. Maybe. But if they are, Lily's been sitting on them for 2 years without knowing it. My jaw tightened. If Marcus ever figured that out, Lily would be the target. Not Emma. Lily. We need to talk to her, I said. Tomorrow. First thing. And then we need to decide what to do with whatever's in that box. Emma nodded, exhausted. She stood up, started to walk back to the bedroom, then stopped at the doorway. Jake, do you think David knew? Do you think he knew Marcus would come after us? I didn't answer right away. Because the truth was, yeah, I thought he knew. And he still left them behind to face it alone. I don't know, I lied. But we're going to make sure you and Lily are safe. I promise. She gave me a sad smile and disappeared into the bedroom. I sat there at the table for another hour, thinking about David, about Marcus, about what kind of man lets his family walk into a nightmare without warning. Rex lifted his head and looked at me, sensing my tension. I reached down and scratched behind his ears. We're going to need backup, boy, I whispered. This is bigger than I thought. Outside, the night was quiet. Too quiet. And somewhere out there, Marcus Webb was planning his next move. I just had to make sure we were ready when he made it. Morning came too fast. I woke up to Rex licking my face, sunlight streaming through the windows. My back ached from the couch, but that was the least of my problems. I found Emma in the kitchen making coffee, her movements slow and mechanical. She hadn't slept much. I could tell by the dark circles under her eyes. Lily's still asleep, she said quietly. I don't know how to bring this up to her. The box, her father, all of it. We don't have a choice, I said. Marcus isn't going to wait for us to figure this out. As if on cue, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered it, put it on speaker. Jake Mitchell. The voice was deep, calm, almost friendly. I hear you got involved in something that's not your business. I knew that voice. Marcus Webb. And I hear you're terrorizing widows and kids. I shot back. Real tough guy. He chuckled. I'm a businessman, Jake. David Chin stole from me. Documents that could ruin everything I've built. I want them back. Simple transaction. You give me what's mine, I leave Emma and her daughter alone. You keep playing hero, and things get messy. Your choice. Here's my choice, I said, my voice ice cold. You come near them again, and I'll make sure you end up in a cell or a coffin. Your choice. Silence. Then Marcus laughed again, but this time it was darker. You SEALs always think you're invincible. Let's see how tough you are when I come for everyone you care about. The line went dead. Emma's face had gone white. He knows who you are? He knows you're helping us. Good, I said. Let him know. I'm not hiding. But inside, I was calculating. Marcus wasn't bluffing. He had resources, connections, people who'd do anything for money. This wasn't just about protecting Emma and Lily anymore. This was war. Lily walked into the kitchen, her hair messy, eyes puffy from crying. She looked so young, so fragile. 16 years old and carrying a secret that could get her killed. Lily, Emma said gently, we need to talk about the box your dad gave you. Lily froze. Her eyes darted between me and Emma, panic rising. What box? The one you've been hiding in your closet, Emma said. Sweetheart, I know you promised your dad you'd keep it safe. But things have changed. Those men last night, they're looking for something your father had. And we think it might be in that box. Lily's lip trembled. Tears started spilling down her cheeks. I can't. Daddy made me promise. He said if I ever opened it or told anyone, something bad would happen. I knelt down in front of her, looked her in the eyes. Lily, something bad is already happening. Your dad, he was trying to protect you. But the only way we can keep you safe now is if we know what's in that box. Can you trust me? She stared at me for a long moment. Then, slowly, she nodded. It's at our house, she whispered. Hidden in the back of my closet, behind the old stuffed animals. We'll go get it, I said. Right now? All of us. 20 minutes later, we pulled up to Emma's house. The front door had been boarded up by the police, yellow tape across the entrance. I ripped it down and we went inside. The place still smelled like fear and violence. Lily moved quickly through the living room, not looking at the bloodstains on the carpet where Rex had taken down the gang member. We followed her upstairs to her bedroom, a teenage girl's sanctuary with posters on the walls, books stacked everywhere, a purple bedspread. She went to her closet, pushed aside a pile of old teddy bears and dolls, and pulled out a small metal lockbox. Her hands were shaking as she handed it to me. There's a key, she said. Daddy gave it to me on a necklace. I wear it every day. She reached under her shirt and pulled out a thin silver chain with a small key dangling from it. She took it off and gave it to me. I inserted the key, turned it, and opened the box. Inside were three things: a flash drive, a handwritten letter, and a stack of photographs. Emma gasped when she saw the photos. They showed David with Marcus and several other men in suits, sitting at a restaurant, shaking hands, smiling. But there were also photos of money, stacks and stacks of cash on a table, and documents with foreign bank account numbers. I picked up the letter. It was addressed to Lily. My sweet Lily, if you're reading this, it means I'm gone and things have gotten dangerous. I'm so sorry, baby girl. I made mistakes, terrible mistakes, and now you and your mom might have to pay for them. The flash drive has everything. Bank records, transaction logs, recordings of meetings. Evidence against Marcus Webb and 5 other men involved in a money laundering operation tied to human trafficking rings. I was going to turn it over to the FBI, but I was scared. I was a coward. Please forgive me. Please know that everything I did, I thought I was doing for our family. But I was wrong. So wrong. If Marcus comes for you, give him the flash drive. Your life is worth more than justice. But if you have a chance to make this right, to stop these men from hurting other people, please try. I love you forever. Dad. Lily was sobbing now, her whole body shaking. Emma wrapped her arms around her, crying too. I stared at the flash drive in my hand. This was it. Evidence that could take down a major criminal operation. But it was also a death sentence if Marcus found out we had it. I looked at Emma. We need to make a choice right now. We can give this to Marcus and hope he keeps his word. Or we can take it to the FBI and put him away for good. But if we do that, he'll come after us with everything he's got. Emma wiped her eyes, looked at her daughter, then back at me. What would you do? I thought about all the missions I'd been on, all the evil I'd seen in the world. Men like Marcus Webb, they didn't stop. They didn't keep their word. They just kept hurting people until someone stopped them. I'd burn him to the ground, I said. Emma took a deep breath. Then that's what we do. Lily looked up, her face streaked with tears. Will we be safe? I wanted to lie to her. Tell her everything would be okay. But she deserved the truth. I don't know, I said. But I promise you this. I won't let him touch you. Not while I'm breathing. Here's my question for you. If someone you loved left you evidence that could destroy dangerous criminals, but also put your life at risk, would you use it? Or would you walk away to stay safe? Drop your answer in the comments. We left the house and drove straight to the FBI field office downtown. It was time to end this. But what we didn't know was that Marcus was already 3 steps ahead of us. And the real nightmare was just beginning. The FBI field office was a gray concrete building downtown, all security cameras and bulletproof glass. Special Agent Karen Torres met us in the lobby, mid-40s, sharp eyes, no-nonsense demeanor. I'd worked with FBI on joint operations overseas, knew the type. Professional, thorough, skeptical. Jake Mitchell, she said, shaking my hand. I remember you from the Kabul extraction in 2019. Good work. Thanks. We need your help. I handed her the flash drive and walked her through everything. David's letter, Marcus Webb, the attack on Emma's house. She listened without interrupting, her face unreadable. When I finished, she plugged the flash drive into her laptop. Her eyes widened as she scrolled through the files. This is massive, she muttered. Bank transfers to offshore accounts, recorded conversations, transaction logs linking Webb to trafficking operations across 3 states. If this is authentic, we can dismantle his entire network. It's authentic, Emma said quietly. My husband made a lot of mistakes, but he documented everything. Torres looked at her with something close to sympathy. Mrs. Chun, I'm going to be honest with you. The moment we move on this, Marcus Webb will know, and he will retaliate. We can offer you protective custody, relocation if necessary. No, Emma interrupted. I'm not running anymore. I've been running from the truth for 2 years. Whatever happens, I want to face it. Torres nodded slowly. All right. Give me 48 hours to verify this evidence and coordinate with our task force. In the meantime, stay somewhere safe. Keep your phones off. Don't contact anyone. We left the FBI office and drove back to my place in silence. Lily had fallen asleep in the back seat, exhausted. Emma stared out the window, her face pale. Do you think we did the right thing? She asked. Yeah, I said. We did. But even as I said it, I felt the weight of what we'd just set in motion. Marcus wasn't going to go quietly. That night, I set up a perimeter around my house. Motion sensors, cameras, Rex on patrol. Emma and Lily stayed in the bedroom while I kept watch from the living room, my Glock within reach. Around 2 a.m., Rex started growling. Low, dangerous. I grabbed my weapon and moved to the window. 3 black SUVs were parked across the street, engines running, headlights off. They'd found us. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered. You made a mistake, Jake, Marcus said. A big one. Come find out, I replied. I don't need to. See, while you were playing hero at the FBI, I did some research on you. Decorated SEAL, medically retired after Syria. No family, no wife, no kids. Just you and that dog. You got nothing to lose, right? Get to the point. Emma Chun has a sister. Lives in Portland with her 2 kids. Nice woman. Works as a nurse. I'm wondering, how fast can the Portland PD respond to a home invasion? My blood went cold. You touch her, I won't have to. Not if you bring me that flash drive in the next hour. Original and all copies. You do that, I disappear. Emma and Lily live their lives. Everybody wins. I gave it to the FBI. Marcus laughed. Then I guess Emma's sister is going to have a very bad night. The line went dead. I turned to find Emma standing in the hallway, her face white as a ghost. She'd heard everything. My sister, she whispered. He's going to hurt my sister. No, he's not, I said. This is a bluff. He's trying to scare us into making a mistake. You don't know that. Emma's voice cracked. Jake, she has 2 little kids. If something happens to them because of me, it won't, I said firmly. I'm calling Torres right now. FBI can have agents at your sister's house in minutes. I dialed Torres. She answered on the second ring. We have a problem, I said, and explained the situation. I'm on it, she said. Sending a team to Portland now. But Jake, This changes things. Webb is escalating. You need to bring Emma and Lily into protective custody immediately. Understood. We're leaving now. I hung up and turned to Emma. Pack light. We're moving to a safe house. But before we could move, the power went out. The whole house went dark. Rex started barking. Loud, aggressive. Jake! Emma's voice trembled in the darkness. I grabbed my tactical flashlight, swept the beam across the living room. Nothing. But I could feel it. That sixth sense you develop in combat when death is close. Get Lily, I whispered. Bathroom. Lock the door. Don't come out until I say. Emma ran. I heard the bathroom door slam, the lock click. Then I heard it. Glass breaking. Back door. They were inside. I moved through the darkness, Rex at my side, weapon ready. I'd trained for this 1,000 times. Close quarters combat, home defense, multiple hostiles. A shadow moved in the kitchen. I fired twice. The shadow dropped. 2 more came through the front door. Rex hit the first one, took him down hard. The second one rushed me with a knife. I dodged, struck him in the throat with my flashlight, and he went down gasping. Then I heard the scream. Emma. From the bathroom. I ran, kicked the door open. A man was climbing through the bathroom window, reaching for Lily. I put 2 rounds in his chest. He fell backward, out the window, disappeared into the night. You okay? I asked. Emma and Lily were huddled in the bathtub, shaking. We're okay. Sirens wailed in the distance. Someone had called the cops. I did a quick sweep of the house. 4 men down, 2 dead, 2 injured. All gang members. All sent by Marcus. Torres arrived 10 minutes later with a full tactical team. She took one look at the scene and shook her head. You're lucky to be alive, she said. Luck had nothing to do with it, I replied. Training and a good dog. Torres arranged for Emma and Lily to be taken to a federal safe house. As they were being loaded into an armored vehicle, Emma grabbed my hand. Thank you, she said. For everything. It's not over, I told her. But we're going to end this. I promise. She nodded and got in the vehicle. Lily waved through the window as they drove away. Torres turned to me. We got confirmation from Portland. Webb's men tried to breach your sister-in-law's house, but our team intercepted them. Everyone's safe. Relief flooded through me. Good. We're moving up the timeline on Webb, Torres continued, hitting his locations at dawn. You want in? I looked at Rex, sitting calmly beside me, blood still on his fur. Yeah, I said. I want in. It was time to finish what David started. Dawn came fast. I stood in the FBI tactical staging area with 20 agents in full gear, helmets, vests, assault rifles. Torres briefed the team on 3 simultaneous raids hitting Marcus Webb's properties across the city. Webb owns a shipping warehouse, a nightclub, and a mansion in the hills, she said, pointing to a map. Intel suggests he's at the mansion. Team Alpha takes the warehouse. Team Bravo hits the club. Team Charlie. That's us. We're going after Webb directly. I checked my borrowed tactical vest and weapon. Rex sat beside me, alert and ready. Torres had cleared him to come along. Trained military K-9s were assets the FBI rarely turned down. You stay behind us, Torres told me. You're not FBI. You're here as a consultant. Clear. Crystal, I said. But we both knew if things went sideways, I'd do whatever it took. We rolled out in armored vehicles just as the sun broke over the horizon. The mansion sat on 10 acres outside the city. High walls, security cameras, armed guards. Old money architecture hiding new money crimes. Torres radioed the other teams. All units, we're moving in. Execute on my mark. The gate exploded inward as our battering ram took it down. We stormed the property, spreading out in tactical formation. 2 guards came running from the gatehouse. FBI agents tackled them before they could reach their weapons. FBI. On the ground. Now, we breached the front door. The mansion's interior was pure luxury. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, artwork worth more than most people made in a lifetime. All bought with blood money. Rex found the first hidden room, behind a bookshelf in the study. He scratched at the wall, whining. Torres pulled the right book and the shelf swung open, revealing a staircase leading down. Basement, she said. Let's go. We descended into darkness. The basement was massive, rows of filing cabinets, computers, stacks of cash on tables. This was Marcus's operations center, the heart of his empire. But Marcus wasn't there. He knew. Torres muttered, scanning the room. He knew we were coming. Then my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered. Looking for me, Jake? Marcus's voice was calm, almost amused. Where are you? Somewhere safe. Watching you tear apart my house on security cameras. Impressive response time. Someone must have tipped me off. My stomach dropped. What are you talking about? You really think I don't have people inside the FBI? Come on, Jake. I've been doing this for 20 years. I own half this city. Cops, judges, agents. Your little raid? I knew about it 12 hours ago. Torres was listening on her radio, her face going pale. She grabbed my phone. Webb, this is Special Agent Torres. You're finished. We have your financial records, your clients, everything. Marcus laughed. You have copies. Backups. Nothing that'll stick in court without proper chain of custody. My lawyers will have it thrown out in a week. But you know what you don't have? Emma and Lily. My heart stopped. What did you do? I didn't do anything. My guys did. See, while you were playing soldier with the FBI, I sent a team to that safe house. Federal protection only works if the agents guarding you aren't on my payroll. Torres was already yelling into her radio. Give me a status check on the safe house. Now, static. Then a voice came through. Safe house is compromised. Repeat. Safe house is compromised. Subjects are missing. 2 agents down. Everything inside me went cold and sharp. Emma and Lily were gone. Taken by Marcus's people while we were chasing ghosts. Where are they? I said, my voice deadly quiet. Somewhere you'll never find them, Marcus replied. Unless you want to make a trade. The original flash drive and all evidence against me in exchange for Emma and her daughter. You have 2 hours. I'll send you the location. The line went dead. Torres was barking orders, coordinating rescue teams, pulling up GPS tracking. But I knew the truth. If Marcus had them, traditional law enforcement wouldn't move fast enough. I grabbed my gear and headed for the door. Torres grabbed my arm. Mitchell, where are you going? To get them back. We have protocols, procedures. Your procedures got them kidnapped, I said, pulling free. One of your people is dirty. Maybe more than one. I'm not waiting around for you to figure out who. You go rogue on this. I can't protect you. I looked her in the eye. I don't need protection. I need my dog and a head start. Torres held my gaze for a long moment. Then she nodded slowly. 2 hours. After that, I have to bring you in. 2 hours is all I need. I whistled for Rex, and we ran. Outside, I jumped into my truck and floored it. My phone buzzed with a text message, coordinates to an abandoned factory on the waterfront. Classic criminal hideout. I called my old SEAL buddy Cole. He answered on the first ring. Jake, what's up? I need backup. Hostile extraction. 2 civilians. Unknown number of armed hostiles. Where and when? Waterfront factory. 20 minutes. I'm rolling out now. Stay alive until I get there. I drove like hell through morning traffic, Rex panting in the passenger seat. My mind was racing through scenarios, entry points, cover positions, extraction routes. This was what I'd trained for my entire adult life. But this time it was personal. Emma and Lily weren't just civilians. They were under my protection. I'd made them a promise. And I never broke my promises. The factory came into view. Old, rusted, windows broken, surrounded by empty lots. 2 black SUVs parked outside. Guards patrolling the perimeter. I parked 3 blocks away and moved in on foot with Rex. Cole pulled up seconds later, tactical gear already on, rifle in hand. What's the play, he asked. Fast and violent, I said. In and out before they know what hit them. Cole grinned. My favorite kind. We moved through the shadows, closing in on the factory. Through a broken window, I could see Emma and Lily tied to chairs in the center of a large room. 5 men guarding them. Marcus standing in front of them, talking on his phone. Time to end this. Cole and I split up. He circled left, I went right. Rex stayed close to my side, silent as a ghost. The factory had broken windows on the second floor, perfect for entry. We scaled the rusted fire escape, boots barely making a sound on metal. Inside, the air smelled like oil and decay. I could hear Marcus's voice echoing from below. You should have just given me what I wanted, Emma. Now your daughter gets to watch you die. Not today. Cole reached the catwalk first, positioned himself with his rifle aimed at the group below. I moved to the opposite side for crossfire. 5 hostiles, all armed. Marcus stood in front of Emma, a pistol in his hand. I gave Cole the signal. 3, 2, 1. We opened fire simultaneously. 2 guards dropped before they even knew what hit them. The others scattered, grabbing for weapons. Rex launched himself from the catwalk, landed on the 3rd guard, took him down hard. Marcus grabbed Lily, pulled her in front of him like a shield, gun pressed to her head. Drop your weapons, or the kid dies. I stepped out of the shadows, weapon trained on Marcus. Let her go. You don't give the orders here, Marcus snarled. Blood trickled from his temple where debris from our shots had cut him. I walk out that door with these 2, or she dies. Your choice. Cole had the remaining guard pinned down behind machinery. Rex stood over his victim, teeth bared. Everything went quiet. You're not leaving, I said calmly. Torres has this place surrounded. FBI tactical teams are moving in right now. It's over, Marcus. He laughed, bitter and desperate. Then I got nothing to lose. His finger tightened on the trigger. I didn't think. I just moved. Training took over, muscle memory from 1,000 scenarios. I fired once, precise, controlled. The bullet hit Marcus's shoulder, the impact spinning him backward. His gun discharged into the ceiling as Lily twisted away from his grip. Emma screamed. Cole took down the last guard. Rex moved to Lily, standing guard over her. I rushed forward, kicked Marcus's gun away. He was on the ground, clutching his bleeding shoulder, face twisted in rage and pain. You're done, I said. Torres burst through the door seconds later with a full tactical team. She took one look at the scene. 5 men down, Emma and Lily safe, Marcus wounded on the floor, and shook her head. You never do things the easy way, do you, Mitchell? Where's the fun in that? Paramedics rushed in. Emma and Lily were checked for injuries, bruised, traumatized, but alive. Emma wrapped her arms around me, sobbing into my chest. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you for saving us. Always, I said. Marcus was loaded into an ambulance under armed guard. Torres walked over with her tablet. We hit all his properties. Found enough evidence to put him away for 3 lifetimes. Bank records, ledgers, testimony from people he'd been blackmailing. David's flash drive was the key that unlocked everything. What about the dirty agent? Torres's face hardened. Agent Miller. Been on Webb's payroll for 2 years. We arrested him an hour ago. I nodded. Justice was coming, slow but sure. 3 weeks later, I stood in federal court watching Marcus Webb get sentenced. 50 years without parole. His entire operation dismantled. Dozens of arrests. Trafficking rings shut down across 3 states. Emma and Lily sat in the gallery, holding hands. When the judge read the sentence, Emma closed her eyes and whispered something I couldn't hear. Maybe a prayer. Maybe goodbye to the nightmare David had left behind. Outside the courthouse, Emma hugged me one more time. What are you going to do now? I looked at Rex, sitting patiently at my side. Maybe take some time off. Figure out what comes next. You should visit us sometime, Lily said quietly. For dinner or something. I smiled. I'd like that. They walked away toward Emma's sister's car, starting their new life, free from Marcus's shadow. I watched them go, feeling something I hadn't felt in a long time. Purpose. Not from missions or combat or medals. From protecting people who couldn't protect themselves. Cole appeared beside me. You thinking what I'm thinking? That we should start a private security company for people in situations like this? He grinned. Great minds think alike. I looked down at Rex. What do you think, boy? You up for more action? Rex barked once. That was a yes. As I walked away from the courthouse, I got a text from Emma. Just 2 words, "Thank you." I replied, "Anytime." And I meant it. Because somewhere out there, another widow, another family, another innocent person was facing their own Marcus Webb. And when that happened, they'd need someone willing to fight. Someone who kept their promises. 6 months passed. Cole and I built the security company from the ground up, Mitchell Reynolds Protection Services. We specialized in high-risk cases, people who'd exhausted traditional law enforcement options. Business was good. Rex had his own office. Emma and Lily rebuilt their lives. Emma got a job at a nonprofit helping victims of financial crimes. Lily started college, majoring in criminal justice. She wanted to help people the way I'd helped them. We stayed in touch. Dinners every few weeks, phone calls, birthday cards. They felt like family now. Then one evening, Emma called. Her voice was shaking. "Jake, I need to tell you something. Something I should have told you a long time ago. I was at the office, finishing paperwork." "What's wrong?" "It's about David. About the night he died." My stomach tightened. "Emma, what are you talking about?" "He didn't die of a heart attack, Jake." "I mean, he did, but I gave him the pills that caused it." The world stopped spinning. "What?" "I found out he was laundering money, working with Marcus, putting us in danger." I confronted him and he laughed at me. Said I was too stupid to understand business. Said if I left him, he'd make sure I never saw Lily again. He had lawyers, money, connections. I had nothing. Her voice cracked. So I crushed up his blood pressure medication, doubled the dose in his coffee every morning for 3 weeks. The doctor said it was stress and genetics. But it was me. I killed him, Jake. I couldn't speak. Couldn't process what I was hearing. "I'm turning myself in tomorrow," Emma continued. "The guilt has been eating me alive. I can't keep this secret anymore. You saved our lives, and I repaid you by lying to you. I'm so sorry." "Emma, wait. Lily doesn't know. Please don't tell her. Let her remember me as someone who made a terrible mistake trying to protect her daughter." The line went dead. I sat there in shock. Emma, quiet, grief-stricken Emma, had murdered her husband. Not Marcus. Not some criminal conspiracy. Emma. Cole walked in, saw my face. "What happened?" I told him everything. He whistled low. "That's complicated. She's turning herself in tomorrow. You going to try to stop her?" I thought about it. About justice and revenge and the gray areas in between. Emma had killed a man who was endangering her and her daughter. Was that murder or self-defense? The law would say murder. But my conscience wasn't so sure. "No," I finally said. "It's her choice." The next morning, Emma walked into the police station and confessed. Within hours, the news was everywhere. Widow who helped take down crime boss admits to murdering husband. The trial lasted 3 weeks. I testified as a character witness, told the jury about Emma's courage, her love for Lily, the impossible situation David had put her in. Cole testified. Agent Torres testified. Even some of Marcus's victims testified on Emma's behalf. The jury deliberated for 2 days. Guilty, but with a recommendation for leniency. The judge sentenced Emma to 5 years, eligible for parole in 3. Lily fell apart. I held her in the courthouse hallway while she sobbed. "She did it for me," she kept saying. "She killed him to protect me." "I know," I said. "And that takes more strength than most people will ever understand." Emma served 3 years. Good behavior, model prisoner. I visited her every month, brought updates on Lily, on the business, on Rex. She seemed lighter somehow, like the truth had freed something inside her that guilt had imprisoned. When she got out, there was a small gathering at my house. Lily, Cole, Torres, Emma's sister. We celebrated quietly. No balloons, no cake, just family being together again. Emma pulled me aside later that evening. "I never thanked you properly. For not judging me. For still being here. You did what you had to do," I said. "David was a monster. Sometimes monsters need to be stopped, even if the law doesn't see it that way." She smiled, sad but genuine. "You're a good man, Jake Mitchell." "I try." 2 years later, I attended Lily's college graduation. She'd graduated top of her class, already accepted into the FBI Academy. Emma sat beside me, tears streaming down her face as Lily walked across the stage. She's going to change the world, Emma whispered. Just like her mother, I replied. After the ceremony, Lily came running over, diploma in hand, grinning like a kid at Christmas. I did it. We're so proud of you, Emma said, pulling her into a hug. Lily looked at me. Thank you, Jake. For everything. For believing in us when nobody else did. You believed in yourselves, I said. I just helped you see it. That night, driving home with Rex in the passenger seat, I thought about justice and redemption and all the ways life never quite fits into neat categories. Emma had killed her husband and served her time. Marcus had terrorized innocent people and was rotting in prison. David had betrayed his family and paid the ultimate price. And me? I'd found purpose protecting people who couldn't protect themselves. Maybe that was justice enough. My phone buzzed. New client inquiry. Single mother being stalked by her ex-boyfriend. Police couldn't help. She'd heard about our company through Emma. I called Cole. We got a new case. Let's roll. Rex barked his approval. The work never stopped. But neither did we. 5 years after Marcus's arrest, Mitchell Reynolds Protection Services had become one of the most respected security firms in the region. We'd helped dozens of families escape dangerous situations, stalkers, domestic abusers, corrupt business partners. Every case reminded me why I'd started this work. Emma had rebuilt her life completely. She ran her nonprofit full-time now, helping other women navigate the aftermath of financial crimes and domestic manipulation. She'd become a voice for people who felt powerless against systems that failed them. Lily graduated from the FBI Academy at the top of her class. Her first assignment was working financial crimes, shutting down operations like the one her father had run. The irony wasn't lost on any of us. One afternoon, Emma stopped by my office. She looked different, lighter, more at peace with herself. The guilt that had haunted her for years had finally released its grip. I have news, she said, sitting across from my desk. Rex immediately went to her, resting his head on her lap. She scratched behind his ears. I met someone. I smiled. Yeah? Tell me about him. His name's Michael. He's a therapist who volunteers at the nonprofit. Lost his wife to cancer 3 years ago. We've been talking for months, and I don't know, Jake. I feel like I'm allowed to be happy again. You are, I said. You've earned it. She looked at me with something like sadness. I wish things had been different. With us, I mean. You've been so good to me and Lily. I shook my head. Emma, your family. That's more important than anything else. She nodded, eyes getting misty. You're a good man, Jake Mitchell. The best I've ever known. A few months later, I attended Emma and Michael's wedding. Small ceremony, just close friends and family. Lily was the maid of honor, beaming with happiness for her mother. When Emma walked down the aisle, I saw something I'd never seen before, pure joy without shadows. During the reception, Lily pulled me onto the dance floor. Thank you for giving my mom her life back, she said. She did that herself, I replied. I just helped clear the path. Still, we wouldn't be here without you. As the night wound down, I stood outside the venue with Cole, watching the stars. Rex sat between us, content. You ever think about settling down? Cole asked. Wife, kids, white picket fence. I considered it. Maybe someday. Right now, the work feels right. Helping people who need it. We've built something good, Cole agreed. Saved a lot of lives. Yeah, we have. My phone buzzed. Text from Torres. She'd moved up to a senior position at the FBI, but still sent cases our way when law enforcement couldn't help. Got a referral for you. Woman whose business partner is threatening her. Local PD can't do anything until he actually hurts her. Sound familiar? I showed Cole the message. He grinned. Another one? Always another one. I texted Torres back. Send me her information. We'll handle it. The work never stopped. Somewhere in the city, someone was scared, trapped, desperate for help. And we'd be there. That was the promise I'd made to Emma and Lily 5 years ago. That was the promise I made to every client who walked through our doors. I looked at Rex. Ready to get back to work, boy? He barked once. Always ready. Cole clapped me on the shoulder. Let's go save the world, one case at a time. One case at a time, I agreed. We walked back to our truck, the night stretching out before us. Somewhere out there, justice was waiting. And so were we. Because that's what we did. We protected people who couldn't protect themselves. We stood between the innocent and the monsters. We kept our promises. And we never, ever stopped fighting. Emma had found her peace. Lily had found her purpose. Marcus was behind bars. David's crimes had been exposed and stopped. The story that started with a scream in the night had ended with hope. Not perfect, not without scars, but hope nonetheless. And sometimes, that's the best ending you can get. 10 years had passed since the night I first heard Emma scream. The business had grown beyond anything Cole and I imagined. We had offices in 3 states, a team of former military operators, and a reputation that brought clients from across the country. But success came with complications. I was in my office late one evening when Torres called. She'd retired from the FBI last year, but still consulted on major cases. Jake, I need to see you. Now. It's about David Chun. My blood went cold. David's been dead for 12 years. That's what we all thought. Can you meet me? An hour later, we sat in a quiet diner across town. Torres slid a file across the table. Inside were surveillance photos, recent ones, of a man who looked exactly like David Chun. Older, grayer, but unmistakably him. That's impossible, I said. Emma killed him. She confessed, served time. She killed someone. Torres interrupted. But DNA analysis from the exhumed body doesn't match David's dental records. We missed it during the original investigation because nobody had reason to question his identity. But a cold case team reopened several files linked to Marcus Webb's operation, and David's name came up. They ran the tests again. I stared at the photos. Then who did Emma kill? We don't know yet. But David Chun is alive, living under the name Richard Morrison in Vancouver. He's been there for over a decade, running a legitimate investment firm. New identity, new life. He faked his death and let his wife take the blame for murdering someone else. The room spun. Emma had served 3 years in prison for a murder she didn't commit. She'd carried that guilt, that confession, believing she'd killed her husband. And all along, David was alive. Does Emma know? I asked. Not yet. I wanted to tell you first. This is going to destroy her. I drove straight to Emma's house. She lived in a small cottage now, peaceful and quiet. Michael answered the door. Jake? Everything okay? I need to talk to Emma. Alone. He must have seen something in my face because he just nodded and went upstairs. Emma came into the living room, smiling. That smile vanished when she saw my expression. What's wrong? I told her everything. Showed her the photos, the DNA report, Torres's findings. With each word, the color drained from her face. When I finished, she just sat there, staring at nothing. He's alive, she whispered. David is alive. Emma, who did you kill? Who was in your house that night? She looked at me with tears streaming down her face. I don't know. I thought it was David. He came home late, went straight to bed. I made him coffee the next morning with the crushed pills like I'd been doing. He collapsed an hour later. The coroner confirmed it was him. His wallet, his wedding ring, his clothes, everything. Someone switched places with him, I said. David staged the whole thing. Used someone else's body, probably someone from Marcus's operation who looked similar enough. He let you believe you killed him so you'd never look for him. The betrayal hit her like a physical blow. She doubled over, sobbing. I went to prison. I confessed. I carried that guilt for 10 years. And he was alive the whole time. Yeah. She looked up at me, and I saw something dangerous in her eyes. Not the broken woman who'd been terrorized 12 years ago. Not the guilt-ridden widow who'd served time. This was something new. Something sharp and furious. Where is he? Emma, where is he, Jake? I hesitated. Then I gave her the address Torres had provided. The next morning, Emma, Lily, Torres, Cole, and I flew to Vancouver. Lily had taken emergency leave from the FBI. Her face was stone cold the entire flight. I mourned him, she said quietly. I cried over his grave. And he was alive. We found David's house in an upscale neighborhood. Big property, expensive cars, the kind of wealth he'd stolen from innocent people. Torres had coordinated with Canadian authorities. They were standing by, waiting for our signal. Emma walked up to the front door and knocked. I stood behind her with Cole, ready for anything. The door opened. David Chin stood there, older but recognizable. His eyes went wide when he saw Emma. "No," he whispered. "You're supposed to be in prison?" Emma finished. "For killing you? Funny thing about that. Turns out I killed someone else. Someone you set up to die in your place." David tried to close the door. I blocked it with my boot. "We need to talk," I said. Inside, David collapsed into a chair, his hands shaking. "How did you find me?" "DNA analysis," Torres said, showing her badge. "You made a lot of mistakes, David. But the biggest one was thinking you could disappear while your wife and daughter paid for your crimes." Lily stood over him, her face full of rage. "You let Mom go to prison. You let me grow up thinking my father was dead. Why?" David couldn't meet her eyes. "Marcus would have killed me. I had no choice. The man who died, he was one of Marcus's guys, someone who crossed him. Marcus needed him gone anyway. I made it work for both of us." "You made Mom confess to murder," Lily said, her voice shaking. "You destroyed our lives. I gave you life insurance money," David shouted. "I made sure you were taken care of, with blood money," Emma said coldly. "From crimes you committed. We didn't want your money, David. We wanted you to be the man we thought you were. But you never were you?" David broke down crying. Pathetic, weak. The man who'd orchestrated an elaborate fake death was just a coward who'd run from his mistakes. Torres made the arrest. Canadian authorities took David into custody. He'd faced charges for fraud, conspiracy, and accessory to murder for the man who'd died in his place. Outside, Emma stood in the sunlight, breathing deep. Lily wrapped her arms around her mother. "It's over," Lily whispered. "It's really over." Emma looked at me. "Thank you, Jake. For everything. For never giving up. You deserve the truth," I said. 6 months after David's arrest, I stood in a courtroom watching him get sentenced. 25 years for fraud, conspiracy, identity theft, and accessory to murder. Emma's conviction was overturned, her record cleared. The state offered her compensation for wrongful imprisonment, though no amount of money could give her back those 3 years. But Emma didn't want to dwell on the past anymore. She'd spent too much of her life carrying other people's sins. "I'm free," she told me after the sentencing. Really free. Not just from prison, but from the lie I believed about myself. I'm not a murderer. I never was. Lily stood beside her mother, now a rising star at the FBI. She'd been instrumental in building the case against David, tracking down his financial records and false identities. Justice ran in her blood now. "Mom wants to expand the nonprofit," Lily said. "Help other women who've been gaslit into believing they're guilty of crimes they didn't commit." "That's incredible," I said. Emma smiled. "I want to turn our pain into purpose. If our story can help even one person escape a toxic situation, it'll all mean something." 3 months later, Emma's nonprofit held its first major fundraiser. Hundreds of people showed up, survivors, supporters, law enforcement officials. Torres gave a speech about the importance of questioning assumptions and digging deeper. Cole talked about protecting the vulnerable. Lily shared her mother's story without shame or hesitation. Then Emma asked me to say a few words. I stood at the podium, looking out at all those faces, and I thought about the journey we'd been on. From that terrifying night 12 years ago to this moment of hope and healing. 12 years ago, I heard a woman scream. I began. I could have ignored it, called the cops, gone to bed. But something inside me knew I had to act. That decision changed my life forever. It showed me that ordinary people facing extraordinary evil need someone willing to stand with them, fight for them, believe them when the world doesn't. I looked at Emma. Emma Chun is the strongest person I've ever met. She survived betrayal, violence, wrongful imprisonment, and unimaginable guilt. And she's standing here today not as a victim, but as a warrior. She turned her darkest chapters into light for others. That's real courage. The room erupted in applause. Emma was crying, but this time they were tears of joy. After the event, Emma, Lily, Michael, Cole, Torres, and I gathered at my house for a quiet dinner. Rex lay by the fireplace, content and aging now, but still alert. We'd been through hell together, all of us, and come out the other side stronger. What's next for Mitchell Reynolds Protection? Torres asked. We're opening a training program, Cole said, teaching other veterans how to transition from military service to private security. Give them purpose like we found. That's amazing, Lily said. You guys have built something really special. I raised my glass. To second chances. To justice. To family. The one you're born into and the one you choose. To family, everyone echoed. Later that night, as everyone was leaving, Emma pulled me aside one last time. I need you to know something, she said. You gave me more than protection or justice. You gave me hope when I had none. You saw me as human when I saw myself as a monster. That's a gift I'll carry forever. You did the same for me, I said. After I left the military, I was lost. Helping you and Lily showed me there's more to life than combat. There's connection, purpose, love. You reminded me why I became a SEAL in the first place, to protect people who can't protect themselves. She hugged me tight. Thank you, Jake Mitchell, for everything. Anytime, Emma Chun. Anytime. As I watched her drive away with Michael, I felt something I hadn't felt in years, complete peace. The mission was accomplished. The family was safe. Justice had been served. Rex nudged my hand with his nose. I scratched behind his ears. We did good, boy, I whispered. We did real good. The night was quiet now, just the sound of crickets and a gentle breeze. Somewhere out there, another person was facing their own nightmare. Another widow, another betrayal, another impossible situation. And when they called, we'd be ready. Because that's what we did. We showed up. We fought. We kept our promises. Emma and Lily had found their happy ending. Not perfect, but real and earned through pain and perseverance. David was behind bars. Marcus was behind bars. The innocent were protected. And me? I'd found my purpose protecting people like them. One case at a time. One life at a time. That was enough. That was everything. So here's my question for you. If you discovered someone you loved had faked their death and let you suffer for years, could you forgive them? Or would you want revenge? Let me know in the comments below.